Do you know what Gwaan, where you can get news about the Jamaican culture and just learn about how Jamaicans are doing, as I said, yard and abroad.
You get to learn a new Jamaican patois word or even a Jamaican phrase.
I look forward to the patois word of the day.
The patois word is pasa pasa.
Word today is taco ram.
Our word of the day is duffy.
Twang. A little twang. Not true.
I enjoy tuning in to What a
It
Gwaan.
happens every Friday at 7 p.m. So check them out. And bye from Toronto.
Dodds, Québec et la Jamaïque, écoute What a Gwaan. Yes, What a Gwaan.
I am a big fan of What a Gwaan.
Relevant and entertaining, so keep up the good work.
Watch What a Gwaan.
Big up yourself. What a Gwaan.
What a Gwaan. Yes, What a Gwaan.
Watch What a Gwaan.
Always say I'm going to Gwaan in a yard. Check it out. 7 p.m. every Friday. Welcome back and good evening to my friends, family, peeps, and fans, yard and abroad. Wherever you are, What a Gwaan National is on. You know the drill. As usual, at this time of the evening, when you see moi, you know what time it is. Yes, What a Gwaan National is on. So text your friend, go to the gate, go up on the back veranda or the front veranda, go at the side yard, but call out and just make everybody know that What a Gwaan National is on and your girl from Bongo Town is back for another week. I just want to say a special welcome to those listening on Fresh FM Radio London, and to also let you know or remind you that What a Gwaan is also available as a podcast on Spotify, Podbeam, Google, Amazon, iHeart, Player FM, and all other major podcasting platforms. You can connect with any of the links you choose to watch on our website at www.whatagwaan.ca. And as usual, Gwaan is, 2 A's. It's another weekend in October. Jamaica, yes, the Black, Green, and Gold celebrated National Heroes Day this past Monday. Who is your favorite hero? As we get to the close of the 2023 season of What a Gwaan, we're coming to the end. We continue to uncover stories that shed light on our community. Today, we talk to a Jamaican whose athletic prowess took her to the top of the world. She was the #1 high jumper in the world for a while and held the Jamaican national record for 2 decades. She joins to share her learnings, her successes, and disappointments along that journey, and how she's used it all to find her place in the world today. We'll be talking to Maresa Cadienhead in just a few in A Time to Reason. So stay tuned for that because we're getting there shortly. Before we go any further, you know what time it is. Yes, it is my favorite part of the show. It's patois time. This is a time where we share a word or a phrase proverb from the beautiful Jamaican patois. And today we will be looking at a phrase or a proverb, and that one is, if you're born for eng, you can't drown. If you're born for eng, you can't drown. You know you like it, I like it, or we like it when you engage with us. And you do that by commenting, liking, dropping the comments down below in the comment section. So if you're on YouTube or you are on Facebook, the comment box, is just down below. So tell me today, what does if you're born for eng, you can't drown? Tell me what the interpretation of that saying or proverb is. If you've never heard it before, time to call grandma or mommy or somebody and see if them can tell you. But keep the comments coming and tell me what this means. Yep. Last week, we went to Montreal to look at what the Jamaican Association of Montreal was doing. Mark Henry, president, and Sharon Nelson, director of programs, shared details about the Arts Center developed by the association. The center is a creative space for both veteran and upcoming artists. This first of its kind program provides a space for creation, learning, and changes, as well as exhibition of art by and about Black people. We look forward to the great output from the center and continued great community contribution by Mark and the team in Montreal. We love it when you engage with us. I just said that, but we want you to keep, once we get to the other part of the show, we want you to engage with us through our different social media platform. So you do that by following, liking, commenting. You can do that with our all of social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and also on our website. Remember, when you do all of that, it affects the algorithm, and then everybody gets to know about what I go on national. If you missed an episode of last week's show, you can check out the replay on Watagwan YouTube channel or on our Facebook page. You can find the links if you're having trouble searching and not seeing it. You can find the links at our website at www.watagwan.ca. And remember, Gwaan is two A's. Let us now share some events happening across Canada. The Walnut Foundation is having their 2023 annual conference on October 28. It is free and virtual. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with a slate of experienced professionals as well as prostate cancer survivors sharing information on the topic: prostate cancer survivorship, enjoying life beyond treatment. Register to attend at www.thewalnutfoundation.com. For more information, you can email info at thwalnutfoundation.com. So for the email, it's info at thwalnutfoundation.com, or call 905-799-2759. In Calgary, the JCAA invites you to party with them as they present a One in a Million You on Saturday, November 11th at the JCAA building located at 3208 611 8th Avenue Northeast, Calgary. DJ Tolo and DJ Mike Eclipse will be at the controls from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Wear white plus your favorite color. Admission $15 if you're single, $25 if you're a couple. There will be a cash bar and soup on sale. Purchase tickets on Eventbrite or call 403-775-1235 for more information. If you are between 18 to 25 years old, of Jamaican parentage, and living in the diaspora, you could embrace and become closer to your Jamaican lineage through the Grace Kennedy Jamaican Birthright Program. Applications are open until November 30 to get a full cultural and professional internship in Jamaica. Airfare, housing, transportation, and stipend are included for the successful applicants. Many more great benefits from a world-leading company that has been around since 1922. Go to www.gkco.com for more information on the requirements and to apply. Now a little tupsa news from Dongayard. Reggae Boys to face Canada in Nations League quarterfinal in November. Jamaica will face Canada in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Nations League in November. It was announced by CONCACAF on Wednesday. The Reggae Boys will host the first leg on Friday, November 17th, before tackling the North Americans in the return leg on Tuesday, November 21st in Canada. The winner, along with other three quarterfinal winners will qualify for the 2024 Nations League finals as well as the 2024 Copa America.
Africa Fashion Week London is back. The largest annual fashion week in Europe, profiling African-inspired designs in its entirety, invites you to its spectacular two-day event. Whether you want to network with fashion industry gurus or wish to purchase a one-of-a-kind Afrocentric memento in our renowned exhibition marketplace, Africa Fashion Week London promises to immerse you in all things Africa and more. Tickets are selling fast now. Get your tickets at eventbrite.co.uk. Also, don't miss the opportunity to showcase or exhibit your designs at the Fashion Week. Register now at africafashionweeklondonuk.com. Africa Fashion Week London. Book your tickets now.
Welcome back. It is now time for my other favorite part of What a Gwaan. And yes, that is a time to reason with none other than the big man himself, Donovan Simon. So grab the cocoa tea, the coffee tea, the tough crackers, or the hard-dough bread. Come back because it's now time to all a little reason.
This has been a great discussion. David, thanks for taking the time. All right.
What's up, Miss Nicole?
There.
I see you insist on having people eat dry bread and crackers while they listen to me.
No, sir. I said tea. Cocoa tea and coffee tea is there.
And dry crackers and dry bread.
No, you dip it.
Anyway, people, listen. I'm gonna eat something different. Buy KFC next week. This week we have an upgrade, right, or something like that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about some big things this week. Somebody who set some high bars, literally, right? So I'm gonna have a reason.
Yeah, man.
Come back and then we can deal with these issues and more.
All right, cool. Have a good reason.
All right. Folks, welcome again to A Time to Reason here on What a Gwaan. My name is Donovan. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And it's my pleasure to have somebody who has gotten to the top of the world, literally, in a field as a high jumper. Moved to Canada in 1988. She's originally, well, she went to Kingston, but she grew up at Trelawney. Right. Went to Ranger College and then went to Abilene Christian University. Recent inductee in the ACU Hall of Fame, a 6-time NCAA Div 2 champion, indoor and outdoor, all-time record holder for Jamaica in the high jump for, I think it's a little over 20 years. Made a world-leading jump back in 2002 and was ranked #1 in the world in that sport for over 2 years and has been, like I said, a champion at different levels. She knows more than me, so I'm going to bring her on here to have a chat about the journey to being world beater. Let me welcome Maresa Cadienhead here to share with us on A Time to Reason on What a Gwaan. Maresa, greetings. How you doing? I know your mouth is moving, so if you can't hear me, I am not hearing you. So let's try this again. Are you hearing me? You can nod. Okay, I am not hearing you. So you want us to do a little reset? All right. You want to jump off and jump back on if you can't hear me? Yeah, just jump off and come back in. Yeah, do a reset and let's see. All right, it happens. Welcome to technology. But I see a few people eagerly waiting the discussion because, like I said, this is a world champion. I don't know how often you get to talk to somebody who is a number one in the world in anything, but today we get to do that. So we'll be a little patient. We'll give her a chance to reset and jump back into the virtual studio, and then we get the conversation going. All right, let's see. Here we go. Let's try it again. You have to say something, Marisa.
Something.
Yeah, all right. All right. A response like that is a response like that is perfect. Right? Welcome to our time to reason here on Gwaan.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, listen, you have done so much. Like I said, I read about a quarter of your bio because there's so much to talk about, right? To get to world number one. But before we get to the top, maybe let's start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Track and field. How did you get involved in track and field? Did it start in Jamaica? Give us a little of the background.
Yeah, sure. It might surprise you to know that I serendipitously got into the sport, like Alice in Wonderland.
You're careful with the Alice thing.
And the reason why I say that is because so three things I'll say. There's a lot of reasons how I got in here, but three in particularly: the serendipity by happenstance, and also tragedy. Respectfully, I lost my mother when I was a teenager, and that was the sort of the epic thing that drove me to world number one, to be honest.
Yeah, so where did it start? Because I know somebody looked at you and thought you'd be a basketball player because you were so tall.
That's right. But for track and field, for me, really, I'm from a culture in Jamaica that is very sporty. We're a very sporty bunch. I mean, summertime playing dandy shandy and Chinese skip. I hope there's no offense to that. I don't know another name for it. Do you?
No, sir. We have got to ask Nicole that whenever you hear about Chinese skip yet.
Yes, so in Chinese skip, you jump from ankle heights to knee to hip, all the way up to fingertips. And
is that a girl thing?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember any boys playing, but
yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay. So when you get up to fingertips, you're no longer jumping. If you could jump at the fingertips level, you do it. But basically, that is a high jump game. Mm-hmm. And since I was the youngest of all my siblings and all my 100 seconds, I really compete really hard because I was always searching for something I can win at. But just coming from a sporty culture and growing up with only brothers also drives you, because I barely had a chance to win anything. So, so you can imagine. I say when I attended, I was at Wynyard Road Primary School before I left to go to Canada. And right in that community, my father, if I may just send a shout out to Mr. Brenton Cadienhead, aka at 64 Wynyard Road. My father has been a postman in that community for over 5 decades. And, I went to school across the street there at Wynyard Road Primary. And that is my earliest memory of my involvement with track and field. Because that school, I remember we had 4 clubs there during inter-school sports day. We had 4 clubs. We had Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and Venus. And I was on Mars. And we competed really hard because the best of the best were taken out of there to represent our school at Champs. Now, I never got the chance to go to Champs, but it didn't really bother me much. I just like to be part of the fanfare. But I can remember those days that my older cousins were all participating or going to Champs. I remember roadblock because people, get out of school early and the taxis are full, bus full, who's walking in groups up Mountain View, going up to the stadium. And
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So after that, I was moved abroad. When I moved to Canada, I didn't actually know anything about sports. And I think like with a lot of Caribbean parents, when they come to this region in North America, they're not familiar with the system. It takes a while for you to understand how things work here differently than back home. And so our parents, we grow with a lot of resilience, and you know, it is this, if you can't get over it, get under it, around it kind of thing. with our parents, you know, the most important thing was your education. I remember my mother saying to me all the time, like, oh, all you kids want to do is get into sports, and what about lawyers and doctors? We need more of those. So with my mother, sports was not that big a deal. So because of that, I didn't really have my sights set on becoming the best in the world. I just always wanted to balance my learning with some other type of extracurricular activities, just because of my personality, right?
Yeah.
And so when I came to Canada, I didn't really know anything or where to go or what to do, and adjusting to the new culture. The very first, one of the first sports I was introduced to was basketball.
Right.
And let me tell you how excited I was, because my older cousins used to play every Sunday afternoon up by UE. And I wasn't allowed to play because I was too young, or I think I was probably born to be a runner because every time I get the ball, I couldn't remember the two-step.
Dribble.
Dribble, 1-2 step only, and I would always try to take off with the ball. So now when I come to Canada and they introduced me to basketball, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, I can run with the ball. I'm free. So let me tell you, every time that ball touched my hand, I take off running down the thing, and I didn't even remember about my team. So I must have been accounted a ball hog, because as soon as I get the ball, my only goal was to shoot.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So I was racking up to 14 points in a game. That's in junior high. And before you know it, you know, a funny story about that. My first time learning the game, and we were at a championship, and my team was winning, and it was halftime. During halftime, you have to switch sides. But I didn't remember that, and I was so game on that when the game started, I went running to the next basket, and I could hear people screaming my name, Maresa, no, Maresa, no. I thought they said, Maresa, go, Maresa, go. And I ended up scoring on my own net, but fortunately, the team was already on their way to winning.
Yeah, you never really helped them much.
Right. So you know what? I've been so fortunate always to be part of a winning team. The teams that I participated on have always been champions, even in my early years.
So let's digress into becoming an actual student athlete, because you ended up at Ranger College, and then you went to big ACU.
Yeah.
How did that all happen?
Again, I'm gonna say by grace and serendipity, because after losing my mother, some people think I had a personality disorder, but I was so affected by the experience that I became very withdrawn, a very withdrawn person, you know, and I focused a lot on my studies, and I ended up not pursuing basketball anymore, because it was a team sport, and I felt like too many people were gonna see me sad, and they were gonna know what was going on inside, which I like to keep a smile on my face. So I end up saying, you know what, maybe I think I asked some of my friends, I said, I think I'm going to try out for a high jump scholarship. And let me tell you, even till this day, I can tell that usually when I say things like that to people, the answer is always, no, it's not going to work. I still like to ask just to entertain people. But when I told my friends I was going to try out for a high jump scholarship, they said it will never work, because they don't give high jump scholarships, and you will have to they say you will have to run the 400 or the 200. Now I dreaded that because I'm a very good runner, but I didn't like the feeling afterward. so I kind of said inside of myself that maybe my scholarship will be the first. I think that's the first time when I knew that I started to believe in myself and what I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so, lo and behold, long story short, after that said, I ended up at Ranger College. And for 1 year, I'm supposed to be at Ranger College, but there's a funny story about my trip to Ranger College. so after waiting around about maybe 2 years after high school, to understand the structure of that collegiate system and how to get a scholarship, I was told that I have to jump maybe about 170 or something.
170.
Yeah, and
Junior
so
college.
I'm jumping like my best at the time was like maybe 165, which is just a smidgen away, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, could I get over even 165 trying so hard in practice? I could not. But it's not really a requirement for you to,
Yeah.
So I ended up getting the scholarship, thankfully. And when the phone call came in that, yes, we found a college for you, full scholarship. Let me tell you, I packed my bags and I jumped on a Greyhound bus from Toronto to Texas. So I thought. So that was what you call a nosedive, right?
Yeah.
Because after I'm on the bus now for several hours, I start wondering, like, wait, I wonder how long it's gonna take to reach this place. so I decided to go ask the bus driver, like, sir, how long will it take to get to Texas? And he looked at me kind of strange. I said, it takes about 2 days and 2 nights. What? So let me tell you, it's like I was on some kind of sabbatical, because now the time it would take to go back is the same time it will take to go forward. So like I was kind of
ride it out.
Yes, that's right. I decided to stay the course. And let me tell you, it was interesting along the way. I met some, like drunken Mexican guy come and sit beside me. He's all like oily and sweaty, and I'm dreading the experience. And then the man turned to me and said, "Oh, stay off that tequila, it'll grow hairs on your chest." And then he passed out.
Luckily he did.
Yeah, so you know what, that ride was over. Thankfully, I got to Ranger College and my coach collected me, and I talk about these things in more detail and mention in my book that's coming out. It's called Triumphant Over Tragedy, and that is pretty much a story, as I won't be able to tell you all of them here, but it will be in that book. Yes, Triumph Over Tragedy. So I got to Ranger College, and another funny story. I get to Ranger College, and I'm there because this is what my mother wants for me. She wants me to go to college and get a good education. So I'm really struggling, by the way, emotionally, because no one particularly can say how long it takes to overcome trauma, something like that. So I'm there at Ranger College and I'm feeling really sad. And then I start getting bullied by people. I experience some discrimination from people from other islands and start getting more and more uncomfortable. And long and short, I dropped out of college. But I talk about this more in detail in my book. Yeah. And then fast forward.
You at ACU.
Yes. So I dropped out of college and then I ended up at ACU through some other serendipitous happenstance. And fortunately that happened, and the rest you can say is history.
Well, it's more than history. 6-time NCAA Div 2 champion, Hall of Famer at ACU, and a world-leading jump. Talk to us about that day in May in 2002, 195.
All right. So again, I feel I'd been struggling with my jumping. I wouldn't say that I was a good jumper or anything. I'm just someone who's really committed to the process of whatever it is I have to do. I need to figure it out and understand how it works so I can get it done properly. And I was struggling a lot with my jumping. I took it so hard. I felt like my I felt like if I wasn't improving, I was kind of embarrassed that scholarship and my jumping is not improving. I put a lot of pressure on myself. So lo and behold, one day I make a statement to my out loud to the Almighty. I say, you know, if by the time I graduate from school, I'm not the best in the world, I'm just gonna hang up my shoes. It was that year that I became number one in the world. So
All right. So
yeah.
you are number one in the world, but along the way, you've had many successes as an athlete, right? Like I said, 6 Div 2 titles, Jamaican record for 20 years, champion. In fact, I want to show you a picture because I want to bring this to the story. You didn't share this one with me. Me search and find this one.
Okay.
And you say your father mix up one special thing and gave a drink.
Yes, indeed.
Jamaica national champion. Talk to us a little bit about the highlights and maybe some of the pleasurable achievements, but also some of the things that may not have gone so well along the road.
All right. So you want the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Yeah, man. You remember this pose, by the way?
Which one? I do remember. I remember the medal.
Yeah, man. You said my father mixed me up one of his special vital energy juice in the blender with 24 orange and green beans and cucumber.
That's right. Okay, so I'm not big on eating food when I compete because I'm too nervous. So in any event, that day, I'm gonna tell you first of all how I end up at that championship. Again, it was not by happenstance this time. It was purposeful because I've been struggling so hard to improve my jumping heights, right? And after winning the first NCAA title, I got a little bit more confidence that maybe I could do this, yeah. And then when I win the second title, I said, okay, it's looking good. What if I become one of the best in the world? And I will have to go and, find my tribe sort of thing. Get in where I fit in kind of thing. So then I was thinking, who do I represent? My home country? Do I do Canada? Or since I'm in the US, do I have to stay here? You see, the problem is there is no written code of conduct on that, on where you go, so that there's nobody to ask. So you just make your own decision. It was natural and instinctive for me to go home to my father because I miss him, and my mother died, and I was living in a new country, and I was lonely. So, and here was a chance now. I was doing good. And here's a chance for me to go home. The only thing on my mind was that I can go home to my family for the summer, and then everybody will get to see this wonderful thing I'm doing, and come out and support me. And the day of the championship, yes, I see my father come after. My father is a Rasta man, just so you know. And he went to the market the morning and he bought bags upon bags of produce like he normally do. And when he came back and turned up that blender, I drank the juice and I didn't even remember that I didn't have any food to eat. Let me tell you, that juice was some kind of super juice, because after drinking that, I went to the championship and I felt like a superwoman, no doubt. And it was kind of bad that I didn't know my competitors, because I was coming from, before I ended up on this high jump road, I was in basketball. I played really hard. I'm talking league teams, MVP trophies. I was like an epic basketballer. But now I'm winning the championship and I don't know what to do after I win. I didn't know what to do after, but my father was very instrumental in assisted me to get to the top there.
Yeah. You cracked 195, and you and I have talked about the story of the recognition of 195. Let's talk about that a little, because I think that's, you've got a lot of high points, but there are low points in the journey, and we want it to be balanced about the journey. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Which part?
The recognition of 195 and the records that you've set.
Oh, I see. Okay, so being away, migrating to a new country, first of all, is a very big step for a child. It wasn't my decision to move. When your parents say we got to move, you got to move. Huh? So my parents said we got to move, and I thought I was gonna go for a visit to Canada and come back home where I can smell the bees bush and suck sweet nectar from the flowers, anytime or year, and sunshine, sea and salt. But we were in Canada and it was really cold, and all I could think about is being in the sun. So I'm here on the journey. 195 happens. I did not know what to do after that, and no one said anything to me more than congratulations. And the fact that I'm not in my home country when this happens, I sort of got lost along the way, got lost in it. And I'm still trying to figure out what happened. And so I have sort of, let's say, hid myself throughout the years because it has taken a long journey to grapple with the tragic way in which I lost my mother. And the high jump for me was sort of like a secret garden, like a hiding place. I still do it today.
Yeah, I soon come to that.
But there was no recognition, not that I know of, actually, more than it was published in the newspaper. And then I didn't hear anything about it. No one spoke about it ever since. And they're still not talking about it. And thank you very much for bringing me on here, because I was in my mental health with dealing with the tragedy was so impacted that I didn't have my voice. I couldn't speak like this. If you tried to talk to me like this 20 years ago, I wasn't sure what I said to the newspaper even, or I just know that I set my goal and I work towards it, I achieve it, and then I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
And so, but I have sort of figured out, I learned some things looking back at the journey. I learned some really unpleasant things that took place. For one, I recently discovered that when that world #1 performance happened, that record ought to have been placed under Jamaica's jurisdiction, but it was not. And the reason why I say so is that in 2001, when my dad mixed me up that Ital juice and I went and won the championship, I thought that since there's no book written on the subject of which jurisdiction it represents, it was natural for me to return to my home country. And I know that when I win that championship in Jamaica, that record mark placed me on the World Athletics ranking under the Jamaica flag. That's no longer anywhere to be found. Like, that's been erased off the internet. The following year, indoor, after I win the Jamaica Trials 2001, that was really something, because so I win the championship there. And I'm saying, yes, this is it. This is where they come to you now and they congratulate you and they tell you have to step to the side and wait for the instructions as to what's next. Well, it didn't work like that. I said, oh, it's not so it worked. Okay, so we go to the medal ceremony and say, okay, you get the medal, and then they tell you what you do next. Well, I get a shake hand, I get my medal, and then everybody just kind of pretty much treat me like a stranger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Champ's done.
Right. So I say, okay, well, I guess it's over. And then my father's, he's letting me lead. Okay, so I'm ready to go. He said, all right, let's go. We leave. And then on the Monday morning, there was a knock at my gate. Coach Charles Fuller, I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Fuller. rest his soul in peace. He came willingly. He came upon the instruction of a coach that was at ACU. It was a national junior team coach who was attending ACU at the time, and he worked with me outside of the NCAA season. But he was a partner with Coach Fuller in his club, and he had made a call to Coach Fuller to let him know that I was coming in and that he was to look out for me. And so he did not. I'm suspecting now, based upon what I learned, that there was some conflict there because Coach Fuller was the coach of the person who had been winning champs for quite some time. Now, I didn't come into the championship knowing anything because I'm not that type of performer. I don't really look at the competition, Donovan. I know.
Yeah, you just jump.
Yeah, I kind of focus on what my goal is, and then I just work towards that. I'm not competing with the people. I'm competing with the bar. Yeah. So, Mr. Fuller came and he said to me, he looked a little troubled when he said, by right you win and you're supposed to be the team, but I'm gonna know what I'm doing up there, yeah, man. You're gonna have to just wait for the deliberation. So just wait and see what they do. And
it's still a wait.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say I was a little bit naive because I believe I hang on his every word. And I did wait around. And after 2 weeks of waiting around, the clock is ticking. And I feel like I'm independent. I got to get to work for the summer. I used to do movie extra and things like that to make my little cash to go back to school.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear anybody say anything. And it go back home. Them say we're no bone provided, no dogs invited.
Yeah.
So if somebody say, well, why you didn't call up the J3 and ask them? Well, I got a message from them.
Never called me.
Right. That they were gonna tell me. And let me tell you, you know how Mr. Fuller found me? That was by way of the entry form. Because when you fill out the entry form, you have to put all your details on there. Your height, your weight, everything. Your email, phone numbers, address, everything. And so I suspect they had my information, but nobody bothered to reach out to me. And it was until fast forward years later that I find the newspaper online with my name listed for the team. So I'm the one that got away, that get lost.
All right, listen, hold on. So part of the lows of the journey, because you have the highs and the lows. We're going to talk about your transitioning into business and things that you continue to do. But before I get there, I want to just ask a little bit about when you look at that first part, all the way to 195 and world leading, right? How does it make you feel?
I feel very accomplished. And I feel like I did that for my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, because the tragic and sudden way in which she was stolen and taken from us, I felt like I can't hug her and I can't help her now. So I wondered to myself, what's the one thing that I can do, or what can I do to, honor her legacy? And, honor is very important to me. Honor thy mother and father, so your days will be long. It's a true thing. I'm living it right now. My life has become very thematic because of this. I feel like a lot of blessings have come to my life just as a result of that. And I feel like I have set my goal and I achieved it, and then that made me to feel like I can do that with almost anything in life. I've pretty much figured out a system, goals, and achieve it. Yeah.
All right. And the system that you've figured out has channeled you into entrepreneurship. Talk to us a little bit about some of those initiatives, both the for-profit and the not-for-profit things that you are channeling some of that experience from the journey into.
I'll speak to you first about the not-for-profit things, because that is what came to me first. And then I realized that, In case nobody decides to jump on board, then you would need to fund your own dream. You just don't quit because other people don't want to help, right? So, a high jumper, I was sponsored for a very short time by one of the shoes company. That contract was negotiated in such a way that I wasn't even a part of it, but these are other things that I discuss in my book. Look out for that. And right now we're doing Champs International Athletics, where we're currently based. And in case you all are wondering why should call it Champs, you see, because I left before I had a chance to go to Champs, and I realized had I been there, I would have been one of the champs at Champs. So I couldn't go to Champs, so I bring Champs to me, right?
Yeah, I know. And hold on. Yes, so for the people, I was saying this to somebody the other day that for those who go to high school, in fact, I was saying it to my 17-year-old, that there's just something about high school sports rivalry in Jamaica that is different, right? The depth of it, the excitement around it. Champs in and of itself is a thing that you don't see too many places, if anywhere at all, across the world.
No, they should be their own Olympics. I'm telling you, they are like the Olympics, and that is very true. Champs International Athletics is a organization that is coaching, offering strength training, fitness coaching to young developing athletes who have aspirations to go to the Olympics to represent their country, or even just to pursue their education. And that's one of the initiatives that was born out of this. And the other thing is Champs International High Jump. Back in 2018, I was inspired to establish high jump training clinics for people, because I've been wondering, people are always saying like, you got to give back to society. Although it didn't work out for me in the sport, I had world record aspirations just because I knew that I had figured out the system to get there. But it's not the kind of thing you can do on your own, independent. You sort of need a community behind you, and you need funding and all that. So in any event, that was one of the challenges, but I didn't let that get me down. For international high jump, we know that some young jumper is going to probably go through the same thing that I did. And what I recognize is that this high jump actually acted as my North Star. And when I say as my North Star, once I hitched my wagon to that North Star and I decided to stay the course, so many things was born of it leading up to this question and answer that you're giving me. So then I've always wondered, how do I give back without, doing this cliche, oh, I give back thing. I don't want to do cliche. I just want to just be able to be my natural self, doing the thing that I love and sharing that with others. So give it back in a sense that this high jump clinic, is it acted basically as a catalyst for me to build my life, and I can share that with some young persons who maybe love the event as much as I do, or who wants to take it up and try it out. And I say it became a catalyst because almost everything that is happening to me in my life right now is as a result of the high jump.
Right.
This interview came because of the high jump.
Well, no, the alkaline water though.
Well, partly, yeah. Yeah. Partly.
Right.
Yes, but it gave me the confidence to do that, you see.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to share with you.
Yeah.
That's what I
All
mean.
right, listen, the clock is ticking. I have two more big ones. What's your biggest satisfaction when you look back at the journey and the heights that you got to?
The biggest satisfaction is that winning feeling on the day I became number one in the world. That's it. I really, when I look back and think about all the hardship, all the struggling, and the fact that I was barely there in terms of my personality, the biggest satisfaction is knowing that I set a goal, I achieved it, and I became number one in the world. Not just in the United States, not just in Canada or that great track and field country of Jamaica in the world. And I say so humbly.
All right.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah.
There are many young people all over the world. There's possibly a little one from Trelawney that either will hear you, see you. What's your advice to them based on the road you have trod?
The biggest advice I have for them is that you need to set a goal and don't give up. Like, things can get so hard. You can feel like you're the only one in the world. But I promise you, if you never quit and you don't give up, something will work out for you. Something will work out. So that's it. Don't give up.
Simply put, don't give up.
That's it.
So, if you take anything away from this conversation, listen, Marisa, we could go on forever, but Nicole won't like it.
Okay.
Nicole into this dry bread and crackers thing.
All right. You're gonna need some water with that. Champs, alkalinewater.com.
There you go, alkalinewater.com. All right, listen, book is coming out. You have to give us a little squeeze on that. When the book going to come out? I'm going to buy one and come to Toronto and you have to sign mine.
Yes, we're expecting by December of this year, 2023. And you will surely get your copy.
All right.
Signed copy, yes.
And for all who want to find out more about Maresa, maresacadienhead.com, right? Lots of information about what she has done. It's an absolute pleasure to have had you here on A Time to Reason and Gwaan. Continue doing what you're doing, continue staying humble, and continue to contribute to society. Appreciate the time.
The pleasure was mine, Donovan. Thank you so much. And let me just send a shout out to all my friends in Jamaica, in Canada, over there in Edmonton, all in Africa, everybody who's listening. I send my love, peace, and blessings to the people in Abilene, Texas. Big up yourself, and everybody else and anybody else who I forgot to mention. Love.
All right. Respect. Take care.
Yeah. Peace.
Listen, this has been a great discussion. David, thanks for taking the time. All right.
Miss Nicole.
Nice.
That was a great discussion.
Yes,
right?
It was.
All right, for somebody.
You can understand why the bread and crackers reaching the but hey. Yeah, but that was very, I wonder what was in the drink for the gear though.
Yes, orange. I listen. Here's something that I'm going to say. Well, first of all, to big up all the dads who support their kids through their dream in the formative years. Who knows where they will get to? Right? Who knows they will get to? The other day I was at an event in Toronto and I sent a couple of pictures to Danielle. You know Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle responded, and her line to me was, "Dad, I want to be famous." It was so inspiring.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you never know. Granted, I never really make no drinks with Danielle. But so I don't know if the eye drop, should I go really get far?
Yeah,
but
the
eye drop.
Can you make any weird mix-up drinks give your Canadian children though?
Yeah, man. I
mean, really?
I take one sip and say, ooh, but or you. But but yeah. But here's the other thing I was going to say about Maresa and her dad. For a long while, and maybe this is another discussion we have on what Gwaan, maybe next season. We misunderstood the messages and the focus of Rastafarianism,
mm-hmm.
and how true and useful it was in terms of what them eat, the way them think, and the way them focus, and how if we had adopted many of those things, how much better it was or would have been.
Yeah.
For us as a people and individually, because we never get it.
Mm-mm.
We never get it. But this is a story that I thought was interesting for somebody to deal with tragedy and trauma as a teenage kid. but to channel that trauma and that hurt into something that literally got her soaring
Yeah,
is really, really interesting, because some people go the other way. It affects them really,
definitely.
really negatively, right?
Yeah.
She was able to package it and take her all the way to world number one. The other thing that I took away from this one was how not knowing what you don't know, can be a little bit of a distraction, right?
Yeah, true.
In the sense that, boy, who knew what it would mean as a world champion? You come from country, so
Mm,
you're never exposed to these things. You don't see it around you,
yeah.
right? And therefore, you might not necessarily extract as much from it, right, as you could have if you were properly sheltered or properly coached and guided along the way. So, people, if you can guide a youngster, guide them. And I'm really proud that Maresa set up her foundation and guiding youngsters along the way. Today I had a chat with a young professional. We had an audience with a really great company here in Canada, and it was interesting to me to just watch her learn from those around who had been down a path and could help her along.
Along,
So
yeah.
if you can help somebody along the way based on your own experience, because you don't know what you don't know, and if somebody
Definitely.
can put you along the path, then
Definitely.
that is great, right?
Yes.
Anyway, boy, this was a good one for me. I really enjoyed this.
Yes, it was good. Another
All
good.
right.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna leave you alone so we
All
can finish
right.
it, and we'll be back next week, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care. Yeah,
All
man.
right, take it easy.
All right. What good. All right, folks. You've heard it, and I hope you took away something from it. Mentorship is important. Sometimes when you live in a certain space or within a certain locale and you don't have certain things that are afforded to you, sometimes it's hard for you to dream beyond your circumstances when you don't have examples. So, and again, I just want to reiterate what Donovan said, big up the good father them out there, because sometimes we make it seem like say happy dirty man da Jamaica or dirty pooper. But you have some proper father out there where I do this father thing with them children and supporting them dreams and all of that. And sometimes we say as Jamaican parents, if you're not good at something, we not tend to back you up. But then it's good when you can realize or try to envision your kids' potential and stand up behind them. All right. So that was another good one. Thanks, Marissa. And I guess we look forward to the book and ensure when the book is out, you support it. Yes, Sir Clarence. Big up yourself. Big up, big up, big up. Thank you, David. Yes, you are a legendary. Yes, she is, David. Thanks for commenting. David Francis. I wonder if you're related to my mother, David. Not that every Francis is related, but hey, you never know. So back to the phrase of the day. If you're born fit and you can't join. Yes, it simply means you cannot escape your destiny. So as you say in Jamaica, what fear can be unfear. So if a this that's something that you forget it, nothing can make you get it. So if you're born for eng, you can join. Yes, so write it down, put it in your book, use it somewhere as usual, especially if you live in these places where they don't understand Jamaican parlance. Just drop it in the middle of a conversation and just leave it right there. If you're born for eng, you can drown. So again, remember, folks, always keep the comments coming. That's all we like when you engage with us. Keep the feedback coming about the conversation and also comment on the patois word. Next week, we'll be looking at connecting to your history, the Grace Kennedy Jamaican Birthright Program. We are close to the end of season 23. Yes. And appropriately, we'll be doing that with a discussion about connecting to our homeland, the black, green, and gold. Yes. That is what Gwaan National is all about. We'll be joined by Tiana Thomas, Samaya Miller, and Debbie Buck, recipients of the Grace Kennedy Birthright Internship Program. This program provides Jamaican youth in the diaspora a chance to connect to their roots personally and professionally. They get to work in a world renowned organization while embracing the realities of being in, working in, living in the land of their roots. This should be another very interesting discussion. So plan to join us because we're getting close to the end of the season. So ensure you join us. You can now share your message on Watagwan National while we share our stories and experiences. Advertise with us as we grow. Contact us via watagwan.ca or any of our social media handles, and they are YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. You can connect with us via email also at watagwancnd@gmail.com. Remember to get Watagwan to be big, large, and national. Remember to follow, subscribe, and like, and share. Share it like good food. When you want something to get big, you have to encourage people to come into it, and you do that by sharing. You can check out our website at www.watagwan2as.ca to find any of the links. Remember to send us an email or comment on social media. You can contact us also through our social media platform. Again, thank you for joining us for another inspirational conversation on Watagwan National. Your girl from Bongotown is checking out for another Friday. Gonna walk good and have a good week on purpose.